The Devil Wears Prada released a new album. And now that enough time has passed to process it, we gotta talk about it. Flowers is the DWP's 9th album and was released in November 2025 under the label Solid State Records. This album has 15 tracks and only 13 of which are real songs. And while it might disappoint longtime fans wanting the old sound, except for the song Play the Old Shit, I love this album. The Devil Wears Prada is a band that has changed quite a bit over the years. They've come a long way from their early Christian metalcore days, emo imagery, goofy song titles, and somewhat obnoxious breakdowns and pacing. And while they probably haven't won over any diehard metalheads, and they might not be as popular as they once were, I think they are better than ever. Flowers continues in the direction TDWP has been going in on their past few albums, something less metalcore and riff-based, and something more brooding and moodier, with vocal melodies and synth taking center stage. This is not to say that Prada has become octane-core. While poppy elements are getting stronger and song structures less experimental, the songwriting itself has become better. And there's quite a few songs on Flowers that help distinguish TDWP from other bands in this genre. But the metalcore elements aren't completely gone. There are still breakdowns and several choruses that fit the metalcore bill. Songs like All Out even sound like it could be on the Zombie EP. But undoubtedly, this album is less heavy. You will notice it the most on the verses. That's where a lot of heaviness and metalcore is found, since it's the back cop part. Let's get into it. They're good. The vocal delivery is definitely unique. It can no longer be said that Mike is the lead vocalist of the band. By the way, when I saw his surname for the first time, it just happened that I speak Czech, and Czech and Slovak are very similar languages. I was like, Mike Hranica, and the word Hranica means border in Slovak. Maybe Mike has some Slovak roots. So Mike and Jeremy, they are co-vocalists, and often Mike's screams are kinda layered underneath Jeremy's cleans, and often at a slightly lower volume. This layering of two completely different vocal styles creates a magical effect, though. I would even say it gives the band their signature sound. Kinda how in the same way System of a Down was colored by Serge and Darren's harmonies, or Linkin Park with Chester and Mike's rapping and crooning going back and forth. Yeah, I was kind of surprised when I googled The Devil Wears Prada for the first time, and I read that Mike is the lead vocalist of the band. I was kind of surprised because to me, Mike and Jeremy were just co-vocalists, and then I heard some old stuff of theirs, and now it makes sense. Something I thought I'd point out is that Mike and Jeremy are the only two original members still in the band, and it's super cool how their vocals have changed over time. Jeremy has given up on the strained, overly high notes from the band's early days. The ones he never could pull off live. You will definitely notice it on the Play the Old Shit song, which kind of sounds like their old songs in every way except the chorus. It sounds a whole octave lower than it would have 20 years ago. And Mike has just perfected his screams. He's still showing a lot of range despite giving up on his lows and extreme highs. Instead, he's sticking to his dynamic mid-C shriek. Besides the vocals, this band is always playing something cool. Several lead and synth melodies are the type that will get stuck in your head, like back and forth between the chugs and high notes on the intro to Where You're Gone, and the keyboard melody to Where the Flowers Never Grow. Despite going less heavy, they haven't tuned their guitars back up. They've stayed in drop B or other low tunings, giving the guitars a nice boom and crunch even on the pretty songs. The bad. Musically, there is nothing to complain about. Maybe some die-hard riff lovers might get bored on choruses, but I think everything holds up. Well, maybe except for this moody part on the bridge to Where You're Gone. I actually really love this song. I gotta show it to you. The song is amazing, but this bridge...
I know that it hurts, lost count of the days.
I know this is part of the style, but I could do without it. While the lyrics are overall great on this album, there are some lines that I find a little cheesy, and the worst offenders are on the penultimate track, Waves. I guess it's not penultimate anymore, since The Devil Wears Prada just sneaked in a song into the published album, so now it's third to last. I used to think that drowning was the only way to breathe, and are we born to die alone? Plus, they repeated some lines like Feeling Alive a few times on Solo and My Paradise.
I only feel alive when I lose control. 'Cause there's something about waiting that makes me feel alive.
And a tiny complaint is that now Waves is third to the last song, and after that is My Paradise. I kind of find pacing a little bit weird, but you know, just tiny details. Now highlights. My favorites are Where the Flowers Never Grow, and then my next favorite song is Solo. Guys, if I open Spotify, The Devil Wears Prada, Solo is their first track right now. I love it. And I find this verse as catchy as its chorus. It's just so beautiful.
Tell me why the highs always feel so low.
And then there is Rituals. It's pretty good from beginning till end. And there's actually too many things to quote from that song. Seriously, just look it up, guys. And I actually heard it live. The Devil Wears Prada came to Frankfurt last year, February, and they played this song live, and I liked it back then, and I still like it. It's a pretty good song. I would say it's something special.
End of the rope, sever the ties, another day, the same disguise.
Mike's screams really shine here. And the way he and the riff build into the chorus really gets the blood pumping. I complained about the lyrics on this album a little bit, but I would say the lyrics on Flowers are pretty good, and I really like this line. And I really like one more line from another song. It's called Ice. What's my take? I would give 4.5 out of 5 to this album. This album is consistent from beginning to end and is full of good songs. Flowers is full of catchy melodies. And yeah, it can get a little poppy, but with occasional breakdown and Mike's screams layered underneath, give the album a unique flavor. Thanks for watching. This album is really great. Give it a listen. Actually, the band is touring again and they're gonna come back to Frankfurt in 2026 in June and I'm gonna see them live. Bye bye. See you in my next videos.